Hey guys, it is Cthulhu here, and it is time for a new video, and specifically I'm going to be talking about auctions today. And the reason I'm going to talk about auctions is number one, it just got released today. So quite excited, well I was excited, and I still am excited to an extent, but slightly less so, because I've actually got more concerns than excitement. You know, the things that I was looking forward to, I still am looking forward to it for those reasons. Namely, the huge amount of time that this potentially saves me on actually having to build some buildings, but I also see the cons, the massive, massive, massive cons to this update, and that's actually what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with the cons because, frankly, that's the bit that we should all be discussing. And so let's just get it out of the way, shall we? The con here is that this is a massive opportunity for cheaters and people that wealth transfer, which for me also cheating. So yeah, massive, massive opportunity. Let's put it into perspective, shall we? So before, let's use a luxury jet, right? Luxury jet, quality 3, currently sells for around 80k, right? So what you can do if you've got two accounts is you can transfer your wealth, and you transfer that wealth by selling yourself a luxury jet for 75k and then selling it on for market value 80k, and you make your 5k profit, right? You do that with 100 luxury jets, you've made 500,000. Very easy to make that transfer, very easy to also sell those luxury jets. And if you're selling yourself at a massive discount, let's be honest, why wouldn't you be the cheapest on the market to sell it to other people as well, just so you can get that cycle going really, really quickly to transfer your wealth? So that's something that absolutely happens in this game, and I believe it happens legitimately. I think it's supposed to be legitimate. Like, loads of people seem to do it. No one seems to get banned for it. Like, it feels like everyone at the top of the level 20 level at the year of 2024 rankings does that, and yet they seem to get away with it for some reason, whatever that reason happens to be. So it seems to be okay according to the developers and according to the lack of bans. And then we all also saw the fact that people were doing wealth transfer with just bigger accounts. So you'd go to, let's say, Gaijin. I think he was one of the people that would facilitate wealth transfers. And yeah, you could just sell him your stuff and then he'd sell it back to you. And I don't know what was in it for that account, that player. Maybe he made a little bit of a percentage on it as well as part of the deal. But yeah, you got to transfer your wealth, and it was just a massive advantage. You'd get this boost in terms of your production and sales bonus because you'd reset your account, and then you were just getting all your money back from what you earned previously, and it was horrendously stupid. And I believe they stopped it to an extent. They certainly stopped it in terms of the bonuses they were awarding to people that were resetting their account, so that it's no longer worthwhile to reset your account. But regardless, cheating is cheating, and people are getting an unfair advantage. This, however, this completely blows it out of the water, because you don't need those 100 luxury jets anymore. You don't need to think too much about how to transfer wealth. All you do is you put together a level 1 mine, which you can do. And I thought that this wasn't going to be the case. I thought those buildings had to be a level uh, 5 minimum, but apparently not, because you can go 4 or less here. It's an option. Um, and then yeah, you got level 1 mines here. For example, this one right here. And you can bid whatever you want on it. I can bid 500 million. That's what I can bid. Can't bid any more than that. Yeah, $5,001 would be excessive. That's where they draw the line. But 500 million, nope, that's fine. Go ahead. 500 million seems fair for this level 1 mine. But no, even let's base this in reality. I have $26 million. There you go. If I forget to remove this bid, someone has now got $26 million. This company, this French company by the looks of it, has just got $26 million for their level 1 mine. And what is to stop that from happening? He ain't cheating. I'm not cheating. Nothing should stop this transaction going through. Yet he's now got a massive advantage. What if there is cheating going on? What if I'm just using a VPN? What if actually I'm on a French VPN right now on Terra? Yeah? What if that is my account? How are you to identify me as a cheater? Yeah, how are you going to figure it out? You can't figure it out. Yeah, if there's one thing I know for certain, is that the mods and the developers have no idea what they're doing when it comes to cheating and catching accounts. They're just completely inept. Or actually, you know what? No, sorry, that's the wrong thing to say. That is incredibly rude. They're not inept. I do actually understand it, so I am going to take back what I've just said, because this is my perspective on it. You do not ban someone until you know for certain that they are guilty. And the point I'm trying to make is that it is very hard to prove guilt. And so actually, let's be honest, some mods probably see that some accounts seem to be 100% cheaters, and yet their hands are tied. Their hands are tied because they can't prove it. They can't, without a shadow of a doubt, prove that some people are cheating. And all it takes these days is a VPN. There is nothing to stop me right now, as long as I'm, if I maybe get another computer, maybe I buy a cheap laptop or something like that. There's nothing from stopping me from running a VPN on a cheap laptop, pretending that I'm constantly from France and, you know, from having a second account. And you probably wouldn't look twice at that because you're thinking to yourself, well, one of the accounts is from England and the other one's from France, and they couldn't possibly be cheaters. And yeah, it could be a VPN, but how do we prove that? We can't prove that. End of story. I don't know if you can prove it, by the way. You tell me if you can prove it, but I don't believe you can prove it. So if there's nothing to stop that from happening, then it's going to happen, and that's it simply. It's going to happen. And also, this comes in all sorts and shapes and sizes, by the way, because the other way I've thought about this is what stops me from monetizing this, right? So what stops me, if I was intelligent enough, and I'm not, at least, well, I can't say that I know how to run a bot network, but what stops me from putting one together? Yeah, what stops me from finding a guide right now, learning how to put a bot network together and have 1,000 SimCompanies accounts, just running gold mines or whatever, accruing tiny little bit of cash here and there, and then I'll go onto one of those gold selling websites and I'll see if there's any appetite to buy SimCompanies currency. And trust me, there will be. There will be players that are playing right now that are thinking to themselves, you know what, that sounds great. I'll buy some currency. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little bit of a boost. Yeah, could you sell me $100 million? Yeah, I'll take that. And who's to who's to who's to call them out? Who's going to stop them? How are you going to say that they're cheating? How are you going to say that they've bought their currency? Who's going to stop them? This is for anyone who's listening. This is a great opportunity for you to make some in real life money. Yeah, and for anyone that wants to cheat, this is a great way for you to buy currency. Yeah, this is the absolute best way for you to game the system and do it, frankly, until these developers actually think of the solution and get it right, preferably the first time round. Yeah, it's game on for those kind of people. It really is. And so those are my concerns. Those are my two big concerns, or rather, really, it's all just one big concern. And let's be honest, like, how hard is it for them to say this is a level one mine? Like, yes, there's a minimum scrap value for the asset, but come on, there's got to be a maximum, right? There's got to be a way for us to logically put in a maximum. We take into account the build cost. We take into account the amount of time it took to build. We take into account the what else? What else do we take into account? We take into account the 20% tax. Yeah, we need to give them a chance to turn a profit somehow. So we're going to charge them 20% tax. We've got to make sure that they at least walk away with some level of profit. But then let's say that profit margin maximum is, I don't know, 10%. And then they put a cap on it. And the cap is based on the building, based on the level, based on the time that it takes to build. We put an actual monetary value on time, and we create a little bit of a margin then for the actual profit if someone actually wants to make a business of this. That would be reasonable. So why haven't they done it? Like, I find it hard to believe, after seeing the Reddit post as well that they posted a year ago, that this wasn't a suggestion and that this wasn't something that they foresaw and they thought about. And if they didn't think about it and if they didn't foresee it, then who the hell do they employ, or who the hell are they getting to do this for free, frankly? I can't imagine they hire that many people because I don't think that it makes that much money. But, like, how do you get it so wrong? I don't get it. I just really don't understand it. Like, this should not be a day one problem. Like, this should not be trial and error. Oh, let's get it right the next time round. No, it should be really, really obvious that people are going to game the system. And it really disappoints me how they didn't think about that. Um, or at least they didn't come up with a solution before releasing the update. But yeah, that's where we find ourselves at. And FYI, like it doesn't have to be the ways in which I've explained. There are so many other ways. I could weaponize you guys. I could say, look, guys, I'm going to be selling my level 10 restaurant, which is feasible. You know, if I can buy a level 20 restaurant, well, then I'll be selling one of the level 10s I'll have. And I'll be sure to post a video as soon as I do. Guys, I'm selling a level 10 restaurant. You know, if you'd like to buy one, please bid. You know, and there is an actual reasonable expectation that someone may bid over the odds just simply because they want to support me. Like I see it happen in other games. You want to support someone that makes content that you enjoy, so you give them money. Well, in some cases, real life money, because that is now just the traditional way to do things, to give your streamers money. But no, I mean in-game currency as well. I'm referring really to RuneScape. People used to accept donations and probably still do accept donations, and they'll do it under the guise of, well, look, guys, I want to make you this incredible content, and if I'm going to make this incredible content, then please donate what you can. Um, and then they'll make these insane videos, and actually they are very enjoyable to watch, but yeah, it comes at a cost, and there are people that are willing to support those streamers and those YouTube makers and give them money. So it's feasible that it happens here. It's feasible that someone could actually say, I know that guy makes YouTube videos, I want to support him. I'm going to offer something ridiculous for his level 10 restaurant, and I will be selling something eventually. So whether it happens or not, we'll see. But then also, what's to say I don't get tired of this game? What if I get tired of this game? What if I decide, you know what, I'm done with it and I don't want to come back, and I want to put myself in a position where I don't give myself a reason to come back? So, hey, you know what I'm going to do with my money? I'm not going to buy out the market because that's boring. You know, everyone does that. Everyone buys out the market or tries to buy out a market before they leave. I know what I'll do. I'll give it. I'll give it away to a random account. I'll give it away to someone that I like in general chat, someone that I really like speaking to, or someone that I think is really friendly. I'll give them my money. And what are the developers going to do? Are they going to say no? Are they going to stop that transaction? Of course they're not, because it's not cheating. It's not against the rules. It's not against fair play. It isn't. It's not against fair play to have friends and to acquire money now in that way. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's so easy to do now. At least before it took time and effort, having to buy hundreds of millions of items. Like, okay, that doesn't sound like it takes effort, but unless you've got hundreds of millions of assets to sell, yeah, it takes time. Like, if you got a billion pounds on your account, $1 billion on your account, and you're trying to give your money away to someone that has 100 million, well, then yeah, actually, it'll take you months and months and months to really actually transfer that currency over. But now you can just give them 100 million or for the price of a level 1 mine. It's ridiculous. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on auctions. It's absolutely insane. I hope you all agree with me. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. The last thing I will say, though, is the one thing that I was excited about was the fact that this was going to save so much time. Building level 20 restaurants are not nice. Just the last two levels alone, so 18 to 19 and 19 to 20, are about 6 days alone. 6 days, and that's crazy. And the fact that I can save that time now by just buying something that's instantly ready to go is amazing. And I think a lot of people will actually not really understand that to begin with. I feel like lots of people are going to make lowball offers on these auctions, not realizing how valuable they actually are. So for example, let me actually get the what I'm looking for up. There we go, that's better. Right, so give you an example here, right? The sales office level 20. So what is it worth, right? I think that what people are going to say is they're going to say, right, so these are the materials that it takes for me to make a level 20 sales office. So that's what I'm going to place a bid on. And if I don't place a bid at that level, I'm going to play it slightly less. The reason I'm going to do it slightly less is because otherwise, what would stop me from just doing it myself? And I think that's the way people will think. I think people will forget the element of time. But when you do then consider the element of time, what you really should be considering is not only the material cost of making the building, but also the loss of income. The time that it takes to make that building is a loss of income. And so having a level 20 sales office from day one is worth millions to you. If we use a restaurant, for example, let's say a restaurant makes you £200,000 a day, and let's say it takes 20 days to build a restaurant from level 0 to level 20. FYI, it doesn't. It takes much longer than that. But let's say it's 20 days worth, right? That is then $4 million of income that you are losing out on because you're spending that 20 days building the sales office. You could say, well, no, it's not actually 4 million because one day it's level 1, next day it's level 2, next day it's level 3. No, you're buying a level 20. You're buying a level 20. It's level 20 from day one now, as opposed to being level 20 by day 20. So yeah, no, you have lost £4 million in income, potential income. So yeah, these sales offices worth more than I think people will consider them to be worth. I think the first few buildings that will sell will potentially be low balls. I've already been proven wrong, by the way, at least with the first thing I've heard. I heard that a vertical integration facility at level 10 sold for 5 million. So that was, I don't know. I don't know the mathematics behind it because I haven't actually really looked into it, but it sounds like a great offer. It sounds like that was a really good deal for whoever was selling it. Aside from the fact that it's been taxed by 20%, so they only walked away with 4 million. But do I think that when we get to the level 20s, people are capable of thinking that way? Or are people really thinking, although less people inclined to buy a level 20 building, so the market is smaller, they're more likely to lowball the market? Potentially. But one thing I think is for certain is that once everything starts to settle, people will start to realize the true value of these buildings and will actually go full force. I certainly won't be drawn into selling anything of mine unless I'm forced to. The way I understand it is that if I buy a level 20 sales office, I'll have my admin overhead affected immediately, even though I might not have placed the building. So if I do actually make a bid and win a bid, I'll have to sell one of my restaurants, my level 10 restaurants, straight away. And I absolutely will do that, by the way. I will place a bid on these level 20 offices. And if I get all three, brilliant. I'll be happy with that. And I absolutely will try and get all three and then remove the level 10 restaurants. And I don't mind doing that because, number one, again, I think that I will probably sell those sales offices for a profit in the future when people start to understand how it really should work. However, I do need to again take into account the 20% tax, which is huge. I think it's 20% tax anyway. And then the other reason is because I will eventually replace the level 20 sales offices with 20 restaurants when someone actually bothers to sell, hopefully even higher than level 20, but we'll see what comes. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope that's been insightful. Let me know what your opinions are. Let me know if you think of any solutions aside from putting a cap on what you can bid. I need to make sure that I haven't got any bids on any properties. I hope that I took that bid off. In fact, let's just quickly check now because it was definitely four or less. So clear all, there we go, set. I didn't leave that ridiculous offer. No, it was definitely on this one. The ridiculous offer has been removed. I'm not about to lose $26 million for the sake of a level one building. If you are this player, by the way, I'm so sorry that I've snatched $26 million out of your grasp. You were so close. You're only, what, 8 hours away from a massive bankroll. Guys, until next time, see you around.